You are listening to the Therefore a Geek podcast, episode 76. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Therefore a Geek. I'm Andrew.
I'm Tracy.
I'm the dude!
So today we are going to be talking about Baltimore Comic Con's weapons policy, the original and the amended versions, and Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad!
Shut up. Just shut up.
Man, we're off to a good start today.
Dude is super disappointed in this movie, I can tell.
I don't know.
He had high hopes. He had such high hopes.
Did I? I don't remember. I actually meant to go back
No.
and listen to like the 2016 superhero previews that we did like a couple months ago. And I never looked back. I don't remember what I thought of this movie.
No, I don't think it was high hopes.
Which of you brought up the fact that they had to completely go back and reshoot rewrite after they started shooting? Was that you, dude? I'm pretty sure at that point we all sort of...
You know, at this point, it's so ubiquitous with movies, I don't know which one I'm talking about anymore. Because it happens all the time now. It happened with Fantastic Four. I think it happened with this one. And I'm certain it's happening with Rogue One right now. So I don't know anymore. I don't know. It's just...
Yeah. I should also point out that I am not drinking alcohol or coffee. Nothing caffeinated. Nothing alcoholic. I'm actually drinking water because I am dehydrated. Yeah,
I'm not sure why that matters, but okay.
Tracy wants a medal for not slowly killing herself this week.
For a change.
I mean, I'm rapidly killing myself. Man, I'm up like 4 cups a day at times at work.
For the listeners, for the listeners, it was Tracy drank water.
That's just the bourbon.
That's how we finally get her to shut up. Like, Tracy, you're being healthy. Drink water. All right, so let's just get into this.
Yeah, get it. So
Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore Comic Con over the weekend here has announced a new weapons policy, and then rapidly they came back and amended it.
Way backpedaling.
So to kind of start off, I'll go ahead and read the original and then read the amended policy. This is Baltimore, Maryland, August 6th, 2016. The Baltimore Comic Con will be held on April 2nd through 4th, 2016, at the Inner Harbor of Baltimore's Convention Center.
I think you mean September.
I'm sorry, September. You are correct. Our first priority at Baltimore Comic Con will always be the safety and welfare of all our fans, guests, vendors, and the Baltimore community.
Which means they should move it out of Baltimore.
Very true.
Sorry, that was a really low blow, but it was too easy.
Yeah. It is with this priority in mind, along with the recent tragedies both at home and abroad, that Baltimore Comic Con is prohibiting weapons of any kind to be brought into the convention.
Wait, what tragedies are they abroad? What are they talking about?
I mean,
well, stuff has happened. I don't know if you've watched the news, but stuff has happened in Brussels, in France a couple of times.
Are they gonna ban trucks then? Is that what you cannot cosplay as Optimus Prime because he's a truck?
Oh man, wait. This would directly affect our friend who always has his kid in that Deadpool truck.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is over. So let me finish reading it here because, in general, I think we can agree this is a bit of an overreaction. The following list is not meant to be all-inclusive, and the Baltimore Comic Con reserves the right to prohibit additional items not listed in this policy. Prohibited items include, but are not limited to, 1. Firearms of any kind, including airsoft guns, BB guns, cap guns, paintball guns, and pellet guns.
Go shoot your eye out.
2. Replica firearms, including reproductions or toy guns that can be confused for actual firearms. 3. Any projectile weapons, including blowguns, crossbows, longbows, silly string, slingshots, water balloons, and water guns.
I said blowguns.
4.
Silly string.
Yeah. Bladed weapons, including axes, daggers, hatchets, knives and swords, sword canes, and switchblades. 5. Explosives of any type, including black powder, firecrackers, and fireworks.
And some types of hair products.
Yeah.
They should have.
Afro sheen. Actually, no, that would fit better in this one. Chemical weapons.
Yeah, right.
Including mace and pepper spray. 7. Blunt weapons, including bats, mallets, brass knuckles, clubs, and any type of martial arts weapon.
What about my fists?
And 8. Your fists aren't shit. 8. Prop weapons of any kind.
Why didn't they just start with that? Why did they went through this whole list? Like, just prop weapons, done.
So please note that any replica or prop weapons purchased from a vendor at the convention must remain in the packaging or be taken out of the convention center. We completely appreciate the time and effort that so many of our fans and guests put into their costumes and convention attire. Whether dressing for the annual costume contest, cosplay, or simply showing your fandom, we understand that weaponry is often a part of the overall presentation. We sincerely hope everyone understands these extra measures that have been designed to preserve safe and enjoyable environment for all, and we strongly encourage everyone to continue wearing the costumes on which they have spent so much time and effort. So that is the original policy. Well, let me go ahead and read the amended.
Which, if you look at the date,
it's the same date.
These guys are priceless.
Someone didn't get this approved, is my thought. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So the opening. The opening is pretty close to the same. It says our amended policy is intended to address sharp-edged blades and realistic functioning firearms. With that in mind, our amended in caps, bold, and underlined.
Someone knows how to use Microsoft Word over in Baltimore.
Amended weapons policy is okay. Number 1, functional firearms of any kind, including airsoft guns, BB guns, cap guns, paintball guns, and pellet guns. Number 1's the same.
Yep.
Number 2, replica firearms, including reproductions or toy guns that can be confused for actual firearms by law enforcement. So I think when they're talking about incidences at home and abroad, realistically, I think they're going towards the home one. And this has been an issue in Baltimore. Is people who have been shot carrying
like a paintball gun or an airsoft gun or something.
Yeah, something that a cop thinks is real.
Yeah.
Number 3, sharp-edged, so non-dull, bladed weapons, including axes, daggers, hatchets, knives, and swords, sword canes, and switchblades. 4, explosives of any type, including black powder, firecrackers, and fireworks. 5, chemical weapons, including mace and pepper spray. So
they got rid of the original number 8, which is prop weapons of any kind.
They
changed bladed weapons.
They changed
any projectiles.
They clarified replica firearms and bladed weapons. They got rid of prop weapons, which I think it was the biggest, most obvious outcry.
And then
blunt weapons and number 3, any projectile weapons.
Yeah.
Well, and remember, this is Baltimore. Baltimore has had riots in the not so distant future past, and
in the not so
distant
future, there will also be riots in Baltimore.
I'm sure there will, and that's not meant as anything except the commentary on what tends to happen in Baltimore. But
I was meant to
correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the typical remedy for the replicas that could be confused with real is to put the big orange cap on the end, right?
Well, by law, they're required to have those pretty much everywhere.
Okay. And then I know that a lot of places they have like this band that they put around so that you can obviously not use the trigger even if it wasn't really functional.
Well, sure.
So, I mean, but that's typical. That's what you do. I mean, you have to go and you check your weapons usually when you register, and then, they take care of it and off you go.
Yes. I mean, in general, this feels like someone had a good idea and they just went too far with it. Mm-hmm. And then the fans, yelled and screamed, and
so apparently
cooler heads prevailed, and they backed off.
I liked it in Phoenix when they yellow banded that guy's walking cane.
That was funny, yeah. Well, so hang on. I would like to point out, so people were all pissed off about cosplaying. Well, that means you can't have Deadpool or Harley with a mallet. And my immediate response, because I'm a terrible,
good.
Yeah. So
finally,
this has come up before, and I don't. It is certainly not everyone, but it has become enough an issue. Someone has posted, and I can't remember who or where, Deadpool and Harley are basically excuses for people to act like assholes.
Oh, absolutely.
It's certainly not everyone who does it, but I can't tell you how sick I am of just people doing conga lines through the middle of a convention as Deadpool.
I just like the original one. I'm trying to find that part where they talk about due to incidences domestic and abroad, and because we're in Baltimore, Maryland, should they be like, we will be issuing self-defense tasers on your way in and out of the convention center, because this is Baltimore. I feel like you should be arming yourself as you approach, not disarming.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, that should be like a Baltimore city. Like there should be a checkpoint as you enter Baltimore as a city, where they issue you with self-defense weapons, and you have to turn them in when you leave. We are never getting press passes to Baltimore after this.
I still how like they took out Mason pepper spray, which I think are like perfectly legal things to have, especially if you're a chick in Baltimore.
Well, I mean, a number of these things are perfectly legal to have, but a private event is legally allowed to.
Look, they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not bent out of shape over this one at all. I really don't care. I just like making fun of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was an interesting thing that kind of happened, and it seems like it's now kind of gone. I think you're right. I think
it's also entirely possible that they accidentally published the wrong one. Like they came up with several drafts and someone just posted the wrong one.
No, I don't think so.
I'm not giving them that benefit of the doubt. Fuck them.
I will say that they backtracked quickly enough that I did a quick Google search before we started recording just to see if there was an outcry anywhere but, social media, the places that would actually have to write a whole article on it or whatever. And I was only able to find one, and it said something about Baltimore Comic Con shoots itself in the foot, but there really wasn't a whole lot of commentary. It was clearly someone just slapping it up as quickly as possible.
No, Baltimore Comic Con didn't shoot it itself in the foot because there's no weapons allowed anymore.
Yeah, not allowed. That's the whole point.
Good.
We can't shoot ourselves in the foot because you're not allowed to have one.
Yeah.
I like I said, when you first told me about this, I don't give a shit one way or the other. But really, I was like, I want to dress up as the Megatron gun now. I just want to be Megatron's gun. And them telling me I can't come in. That would have been priceless.
The one I want, like, I always go and like look at the Facebook comments just because I'm kind of a glutton for punishment. I do the same thing with news articles.
Oh, God.
Especially
Why
in
would
local,
you do that to yourself?
Especially in local newspapers, because it's not actually me. Especially when something I don't give a shit about. Then it's really fun to watch people lose their fucking minds.
I've been starting to get into this too. It actually is really funny.
People melt down over local news.
Right? Yeah. Local news is the one to really do it with, but.
There's a guy that gets on the local news here, the local NBC Facebook every day, and whenever they post anything that is not in Washington, D.C., it's the same guy's name is David, I think, and he gets on there and he says, "How is this local news?" on every single article. I'm like, what?
I mean,
what?
to be fair, like, nerds have been nerd raging way before, like, the internet.
It's true.
So, like, this is like a genetic, generational tradition passed down. So we're really good at it. And social media just gives us like an outlet to do it, and it's really funny.
It's funny. There are different definitions, but yeah, I think I see your point.
What? No, there's one definition of funny, and that's if it makes you laugh. This is hilarious. This shit is stupid as hell. And it's a shame. I actually really like this convention. This one was really nice. I wish I went to it more often.
I think it's one that we've all enjoyed.
Well, I'm going. Actually, I don't think. No, I haven't been. So I'm going with this year for the first time. But I'm only doing Saturday because
you're gonna fucking like it, or you're off the goddamn podcast.
I actually have already contacted a couple of artists that I know are going to be there that I've seen before, and let them know that to hold a couple of prints for me.
Yeah. We have a stance, and it is we like Baltimore, and if you don't get on board this fucking shit, you're done.
I like it. I'm reading through the clarification again. I like how we completely appreciate the time and effort so many of our fans and guests put into their costumes and convention attire, and we expect to see many suits of armor, Thor's hammers, Harley's mallets, Captain Shields, etc. Like, it's okay, please come. We're sorry. We're sorry.
I wonder how many requests they got for refunds after they posted that.
That's a better.
Actually, no, that's actually a really interesting point. Because there were a lot of people who were basically like, nope, not going now. At least on Facebook. I mean, people say that and still show up, but.
Yeah.
Right. Still. Okay, are we ready for Suicide Squad?
Oh, that was pro transition right there. That was good.
I was going to transition when we were talking about the definition of funny, but.
Yeah, we'll go.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. I feel like that moment when you're at the top of the roller coaster and you're looking down.
And
you're
then
like,
it breaks. That was
Yeah.
the Suicide
Yep.
Squad movie for me. Good God. 2016 Suicide Squad, brought to us by David Ayer, writer and director. Andrew, you want to give a real quick recap of what the Suicide Squad is before we go into the movie itself, so that people know what we're talking about?
Yeah, so I'm not a huge reader of Suicide Squad. I've read a couple of issues, but basically it is a squad of various villains, and it's been around since about the mid-90s, early to mid-90s. And the idea is these are villains who have been captured, and they're basically sent on suicide missions. And if they survive, then they'll get time knocked off their prison sentence, stuff like that. But basically, it's kind of like a Dirty Dozen for comic book villains.
Yeah, I was going to say Dirty Dozen also. These are villains that are kind of villains, but not really villains. Like, we can kind of make them sympathetic, so you want to read about them, and people won't get up in arms about it. Or they nerf the villain to make him not as bad as before.
Right.
And that's basically got this. The writer and director here is David Ayer. If you might not be familiar with some of his work, he's been a screenwriter for a while. He's done movies like U-571, The Fast and Furious, Training Day, SWAT, and Fury was his most recent one. That's kind of what got him this movie, Fury, the movie about the World War II tank crew, which is kind of like the same thing, a bunch of bad people fighting for a good cause. And basically the overall plot of this one is a character named Amanda Waller. After seeing the events in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, wants to get together a team of very bad people to do some good, and she gets together a kind of list of who's of B and C level DC stars to go on a mission to save the world, sort of. And that's basically it.
Yeah.
That's as far as I want to
go.
Yeah,
and Amanda Waller is also an integral part of the comics as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I always enjoyed the character, but
Should we throw in a spoiler alert real quick, guys? Just
no.
What is
Turn
there
back now.
No. What is there to spoil about these superhero movies? There's nothing to spoil.
I mean, we haven't put a spoiler alert in a long time, so.
No, it's just I'm tired of this spoiler alert crap. What is there to spoil anymore? No one. M. Night Shyamalan hasn't made a spoiler-worthy movie in 15, 20 years. Who cares? We're moving on. Anyway, so.
Did he make them in the first place?
I mean, he was the one who was famous for it, right? It was the whole movie was like, here's the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Wait till the end, because you had to wait 90 minutes to get to the end, or 2 hours. Oh, that's what it means. Oh, it's just plants. That's fucking stupid. Oh, anyway, so, I mean, the movie looks nice. It was kind of strange for Warner Brothers to give a big tentpole film to a fairly inexperienced director in making movies like this, but that's basically the way it's been over the last couple of years. Is you want to get a big director, or not? You don't want to get a big director. You want to get a director who you can kind of like control for these big tentpole movies. It worked with Jurassic World.
Also, when you can pay less.
Yeah, and you can play with.
You can pay them less, and then Zack Snyder was the executive producer, so I mean, he was very much in control of this, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the movie overall is just an absolute mess. It's written poorly, it's shot poorly, the story doesn't make much sense, the characters are almost incoherent, and there are parts of the movie where you can see it on their face. They can't believe they're saying the words they're saying. Special effects didn't look too bad, but overall it was one of these like pretty picture movies that after a while you just sit there and go, I don't get any of this anymore. None of this makes any sense. There were some kind of shining moments. Margot Robbie was a really nice looking and well played Harley Quinn. Jared Leto's.
Really? You thought so?
I thought she was fine. I like Margot Robbie. I thought she was pretty good.
I don't have an issue with her as an actress. I thought Harley Quinn was fucking useless and terrible.
I mean, look,
I liked her.
No, I was talking about her performance. The character I don't care for at all. I'm talking about like Jared Leto. He was an okay Joker, but now I think we've all come to the conclusion that that Joker is not a particularly hard character to play anymore. You just put on the makeup and do it. Will Smith.
See, I disagree with that too, but.
Oh no, I don't. It's just I'm tired of this character. And Will Smith was serviceable as Deadshot, and those were like the biggest you had. Everyone else was just kind of like Swedish and Australian, retreads. Let's put them in a movie because we can afford them. That was I just thought this movie was such a mess. It was beautiful.
What about you, Andrew?
I certainly agree it's a mess. Leto's Joker, I think he's the weakest actor to have played the part ever. Hands down.
Wait, is he the weakest actor, or like this is the weakest performance?
Yes, both.
I mean, this not saying much to me. This is a big deal. I don't think any of the
Well,
Jokers...
you just don't like Joker. I mean, that's your
Yeah.
but that's your fucking personal problem.
That's your problem.
How's that my problem? I like the Joker.
That does sound like a problem.
No.
So
Just-
these two guys.
no, I mean, I
again,
I think it's by far the weakest actor, weakest performance. Margot Robbie, I mean, her performance was okay. The character was terrible. There was absolutely no character development in Harley whatsoever. And
There's
in
no
general,
character development in any of this.
very little. Yeah. Will Smith's, I had no problems with his performance, but I wasn't impressed by it. Captain Boomerang was creepy, and not like the interesting kind of creepy, like the candy-and-windowless-van creepy.
Jock Courtney is ridiculous. He was Kyle Reese in the Terminator Genesis from last year.
Yeah.
I don't know why people keep putting this guy in movies. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've got this. I actually had to when I left the theater, I walked out and actually no, during the credits I turned my phone on and started typing a list of just my issues. I've never done that before. Just the issues I had with this film.
I wanted to take notes, and then I was like, I don't care enough about this movie to actually do that.
No, I mean, I've got a whole fucking litany of problems.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely had him.
That's where I have seen Flag before. He was the Democratic nominee or Republican nominee for president in the last season of House of Cards. I was looking at him like, that guy.
Oh yeah.
Why do I know that guy?
No, scroll down his credits, and you'll find that he's like some sort of action star who does these movies that all start with the same guy's name. I forgot what they are. They're really ridiculous. I forgot. I was like, what? He's like some Swedish actor. He's like did some
He is
famous
Swedish, yeah.
some famous European stuff. It is like, oh my god, just get a whole bunch of them.
So overall, I mean, I this goes back to my theory that your expectations going into the theater does have a big effect on how you perceive the movie. I walked in with the lowest possible expectations of this movie, and I walked out being like, I paid for a matinee, so I didn't really spend a whole lot of money.
I mean, I walked in with low expectations and was stunned that they didn't even meet those.
Yeah, I had low expectations, and it still sucked massive ass.
I don't know that it did that. It was fun. I'm never going to buy this movie. I'm never going to watch it again. But I didn't think it was all that horrible. I could see there was a moment, and I can pinpoint the exact moment, when it went from, okay, well, whatever, okay, this is kind of fun, to I have no idea what the hell is going on.
And that moment was right after the opening credits.
Yeah, it was exactly. It's like let's just run down all the characters and give them their own little sequence and explain who they are, because no one knows who these C-level crap characters are.
And a theme song for each one, which is pop.
The top 40 shit that they pumped into this movie. I have not seen a shittier soundtrack and a more misplaced and miscued soundtrack since Watchmen. Holy crap!
This was worse than Watchmen.
This was worse than Watchmen, but I'm talking about the music cues in Watchmen's was awful, and I always hated it. This one was just as bad.
The Facebook rant that Zack Snyder went on after Deadpool came out about how studios are going to misread their cues with regard to Deadpool. I think that the pop infiltration of sound, especially superhero soundtracks lately, is due to a misunderstanding of the soundtrack to Guardians of the Galaxy. That they did this retro cool soundtrack with a lot of pop stuff from the 70s and 80s, and it worked really well. It was a brilliant soundtrack. And then I just keep hearing this music coming into all these other ones. In fact, they took one of the songs.
Yeah, I mean
your timeline's off.
Yeah.
Timeline's off. You got to go further back. You can make just mention Watchmen. That was 2009. But you can say the same thing about the Tarantino films, because he actually had very good use of music, and a good use of soundtracks. And everyone tried to copy him.
I'm drawing a direct parallel in superhero movies specifically.
Well, then Watchmen. Watchmen was it.
Yeah,
It was 2000. It was
yeah,
Watchmen.
I have to agree with you on that one. I think Watchmen attempted that, didn't do it well, and that was Zack Snyder too.
Yeah, it was. I know.
Yeah.
That's,
So, well, no, I mean, Tracy. I don't think Tracy realized that. So I think that's where a lot of that comes from.
I saw Watchmen back when it first came out, and I had no idea what was going on screen. I should watch it again now that I actually know anything about comics.
I saw Suicide Squad over the weekend. I have no idea what the hell is going on the screen. Did you love it when Slipknot shows up and it's like, wait, he's gonna die. He didn't get an introduction.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was the biggest waste of flesh character I've seen in years.
I was like, what? This guy? I remember the dude in Jurassic Park 3 who looked cool in the sunglasses. It's this guy right here. He's gonna get chomped by the Spinosaurus in about 5 minutes. He's not even gonna get a line.
Yep, there it was. Yes.
And then it's like the Japanese girl jumps on. Oh yeah, here's this katana chick with a mask on. Her sword captures souls. She's my friend. What?
Yeah.
What? What?
I ran down the list of characters. I mean, this is so perfect. So out of this setup of characters, we have the leader, which is Deadshot, the troublemaker, the Australian Boomerang.
The flag.
No, out of the actual Suicide Squad. Like, he's the mean, manipulative guy. But out of like my list of characters, I've got the leader, the troublemaker, the hot chick, the silent mystery, that's Katana, an example, that's Slipknot, the Bruiser, which is what's the lizard
Croc.
guys?
Killer Croc.
God, what?
That was
Okay,
actually the one I had. That was the one I had the least problem with.
And then the
He didn't do
reluctant
anything.
sacrifice.
Right. I think my biggest issue with Will Smith as Deadshot, it was just I don't care about
It was
Deadshot.
just Will Smith.
Well, no. I thought his performance was fine. It's just they wanted me to care about Deadshot because it was Will Smith. That's the only reason they want. Like, I don't care about Deadshot otherwise.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
They want the emotional hook for Deadshot was he's a dad. We're gonna call him a badass killer, psychopath, serial killer who collects credit cards, but he's also a really doting dad. So don't be so mad at him.
Well, no, but like that's kind of my point. Is it was like, hey, we're gonna introduce this character, and here's a reason you're supposed to like him.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah,
And he doesn't feel. None of them felt like bad guys.
None of them felt
guys
particularly
know-
likable either.
Yeah,
You guys
no.
know my personal feelings on child actors, right? This one was the worst. Again, why do we keep casting kids? Let's just have them off screen. We'll understand that there's a situation.
What do you want
where
to
there's
cast
a-
midgets instead?
Yeah, I know. It's
No,
like,
I don't want
Tracy
kids
just
at
doesn't
all.
want children in movies. We're just gonna CGI in them and have them played by Regina
Exactly.
King.
Please, that would be perfect. I would be so happy.
That would
I
be
every-
hate child actors.
that would be
every
creepy.
awful.
Yeah, every female character from now on will be CGI'd into the film and voiced by Regina King. And then we're just gonna move on from there.
Nice.
Every female or every child? Because I'm not okay
Every
with
child.
female. Oh, child. Yeah, okay. I'm
just-
good.
Yeah, Regina King is does the voices for boys also.
No,
She's-
you just said every female character.
Oh, or child. I mean, either one. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
Oh my God, we are coming back to that at a later date because that is crazy.
Well, no, I've already seen what dude thinks of all CGI charactered films. Avatar, the only movie he's ever walked out on.
Everyone ever walked out on. I did see BFG, and I was like, this is okay.
Yeah,
I was like, now I have to watch these movies, and I'm like, there's a child actor here. Tracy must hate it.
so hey,
Essentially, yes.
you want to know what you talked about? Having those moments where like your friend lets the entire theater know. I actually did that.
Yeah, I believe it. I did too.
There's the scene in the beginning of the movie. We see Enchantress, basically run off. Like they're in the subway, and he gives her the bomb to go plant, and then she runs off.
Right.
And then we see a flashback to that same scene, and get no extra information.
And
Nothing.
It's different.
It's literally it is from a different camera angle. That's it. And in the middle of the theater, I said, "Well, what the fuck was that?"
Oh no, I did that
In the
a
middle
couple
of the
times.
movie, the guy next to me just looks and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah, I'm watching this, and like most of my confusion came from all the Deadshot stuff because it was just the randomness of like his motivation made no sense.
Well,
He's
and
sitting-
it changed on a dime. I mean, it just 90-degree
best-
turns.
The best and probably the worst moment of that entire film was the sequence where they're in the hotel bar. None of that made any sense. I couldn't believe that they were uttering the words they were. And there's this
that's where
part
I believe
where he
it took the hard turn. Right
oh no,
there.
it was already done by that point. All the shit with Harley and Joker was already ridiculous by that point. But then it was like, oh, your daughter writes you every day. "Oh, you had these letters from my daughter. I'm gonna help you finish your mission."
I know that was
went,
so weird.
What? I was like,
yes.
How did we get there?
The other great moment is when he smashes his cell phone and says, "You're all free to go." All of these prisoners that were so dangerous, they were in a hole, and they threw away the hole.
What?
That line? Oh my God!
This is definitely one of those times where like how it should have ended. It's just him hitting the phone, pop, 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 pop on the.
Everyone just died.
We're done here. It's all over. Oh my gosh! And also, can I just point out that if she wrote him every day, why were there 4 letters?
Yeah, just a handful. How long is he?
I
guess he wasn't in jail that long.
I guess.
I guess he really wasn't. I love how she's like, "Go kill Harley Quinn." Okay, she's dead. Oh, I missed. What? Why? You don't even like this bitch. She doesn't do anything. She literally didn't do anything.
She's just the hot chick in the squad.
No, she's there because, again, we'll talk. I guess we'll talk about it a little bit later. But 46%, at least according to Hollywood Reporter, 46% of the film's audience on Friday were females. That was the only reason why people were coming to see this, is they're just shoving in fan service. You know, Will Smith, we gotta get black folks to see the movie. We got Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. We gotta get girls to see the movie. We're gonna load it up with hot chicks. Boys are gonna see this movie, and we're gonna make money.
I mean, they are making money.
Oh, they are making money.
So according to Box Office Mojo, the current projected weekend numbers is 135 million.
Yeah, on 4,200 screens.
What was you told us this earlier? I think you sent me a message, Andrew, that said how much do they need to break even? It's a lot. It's like 750 million.
Yeah. Oh crap! What was it? I don't have the article anymore. I have to go find it. But yeah, so was it, with advertising and all that nonsense, the break even point for international gross was like 750 to 800 million.
That sounds a little high. I mean, for a 175 million budgeted film, that would mean that they spent something like 200 million, 300 million just on distribution and marketing. That wouldn't surprise me. They have been just hosing down. Yeah, but I mean, yes, they have. I mean, the marketing campaign was brilliant, but $300 million. I mean, I also feel like 175 is lowballing the budget, especially with the amount of reshoots and everything they did. So I think that's an important thing to keep in mind too. There are basically 2 versions of this film, like very different versions of this film. One was what the director, basically the way he wanted it edited, and then after Batman vs Superman came out, the studio went back and re-edited the entire film. So you and I both have issues with about the first 20 minutes, dude, of the film, where it was an info dump, background stories that were just poorly done. That was all done by the studio. Yeah, but see, Ayer is still the sole credited writer. So there's a rule of, depending on how much you worked on the script, means, whoops, that's loud. It means how much you worked on the script depends on what you're credited, or how you get credited. Oh, absolutely. And in this case, he's still there's Writers Guild of America rules on that, so he still is credited as the sole writer on this. So I put a lot of this, especially just some of the shit lines. No. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, I think that's why I'm saying I think the 175 is a pretty soft number. Is they went back and reshot and re-edited a lot of this movie. I mean, we'll have to find out later. But good God, this was I mean, 135 million is pretty good. They're gonna go. They released it, I think, the same time worldwide. But the one thing I know that's gonna hurt them is they are not in the Chinese market. They never got. They made this a PG-13 so they could pass the censors in China, and you have to schedule way ahead of time. So you see, like, the Chinese Film Bureau, whatever the hell it is, passes films, like, has a 2-month schedule, and Suicide Squad's not on the Chinese market schedule. Yeah. So that's going to hurt them. The other thing is, we're talking, it's 135 million for the weekend. It dropped between Friday and Saturday, dropped 40.5%, 40.6%.
Well, the reviews have been terrible.
And then dropped an additional 20% to Sunday. And again, these are estimates, but
Yeah, they're all. But yeah, this is. This is just bad. I don't know. Warner Brothers is gonna try really, really hard to make this work, but I mean,
I think their saving grace is gonna end up being Wonder Woman, but
maybe. I don't know what much more we could say about this movie other than it was crap. I mean, it just on almost every level it was terrible. There were some minor moments in there that you could extract some level of joy from, but for the most part it was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, there were little things as a fan I enjoyed. The introduction when they introduced Harley, the fact that she was like doing the gymnast thing in the.
Yes, that was a cool moment.
Well, and that's just something. It kind of gets dropped. Is the character is also a gymnast.
Yeah, I don't know why people emphasize that so much. I guess.
Well, it explained a lot of her duck and rolls and a lot of.
I don't know. I'm not even looking for explanation. I just thought that was a nice little. Oh, hey, here's a little bit of something that, if you know the character, then, it's a little Easter egg. If not, then who cares?
Yeah.
I've never seen that. In fact, I had actually forgotten about that until I saw that. And I was like, oh yeah.
I admit this.
Margot Robbie's accent made me want to vomit, but.
I remember mentioning this, like, how is Harley Quinn able to, like, fight like this? And a Harley fan was like, well, she's a gymnast. I'm like, that doesn't answer my question. She can't. You're a gymnast. That doesn't mean you know how to fight. I don't get why fans make a big deal out of that, or certain fans make a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen that as a big thing fans have.
When I went to that Harley Quinn panel at Phoenix, it came up a couple times, and I was like, why is this a big deal that she's a gymnast? I don't get it. I thought she was sick.
I think that they could have really sliced this cast and saved themselves a lot of money. There were several characters that just didn't need to be here.
Well, I mean, they weren't on screen long enough to really get much of a paycheck, I'm sure.
No.
Well, even just like Katana, we didn't even need her character at all. She just was there silently. And then...
we didn't need her. We didn't need Captain Boomerang, which is a shame because Captain Boomerang can actually be kind of fun.
Can he? You couldn't tell from this movie. You're right, he was absolutely creepy, and it just... I have to say that I really liked the end reveal of Diablo. I thought that was really cool because I know nothing about the character in the comics or anything like that. So for him to sort of kind of hold back, you had that one moment when they're in the sort of the big glass building and he lights all these guys on fire and you think, oh, okay, so that's the character. All right, cool. And again, I know nothing about this from the comics. So then you get to the end, and he does this full reveal of himself as this Mexican fire god or whatever the hell. Like, super powerful. I thought that was cool. He looked awesome.
Yeah, no. He looked like a flaming Yeah, he looked like a flaming Montezuma to take on the common monster. Or the Monster T, as it's credited.
Yeah, but he looked good. It looked cool. The only dumb thing is that he then stuck his hand in the guy's chest, and then his fire went out. I guess the guy burped up his fire and then he was done. I don't know. That was. It's just they had these moments that they could have capitalized on, and then it just turned to shit.
I thought it was so funny. I'm like, I went into the movie asking so many people, like, who's the bad guy in this movie? Like, who's it supposed to be? And then it's like, oh, it's Enchantress. Okay. I was like so underwhelmed when that turned out to be the case. And then she turns into like Blue Enchantress, and then she has some of the dumbest lines. In the movie, it's awful.
She was I liked her the least.
And she has like the goofy face, like the goofy voice. Yeah, and she's got the wiggly thing. It's like, you're going to tell me how to defeat your armies. It's like, what? I thought you're just beat them. You're a fucking superpower monster. What do you need to? What? Why do you need? I
love that she came down and she fought them hand to hand. That was the biggest what the fuck moment where I was just like, she's literally making a machine with her mind. Why is she fighting them?
I like the part where like Harley like pretends to give up and she's like, "Oh, there's just one problem. You messed with my friends." It's like, you don't even like these people. You've known them exactly 6 hours.
Good point. Well, I mean, because Diablo called them family, and so then they were a team.
Am I the only one? That was the moment. Am I the only one who was scratching their head where like the entire plot of the movie is, hey, we're gonna go save this person who turns out to be Amanda Waller from the building. We're not gonna go bother with the crazy shit that's going on over in the corner.
At least that made sense from that character's perspective, where she's like, "Oh, shit's going down. Y'all need to get me the fuck out."
No. Like it made sense from her perspective, but at the same time, I'm going, didn't you guys like make the squad to deal with the crazy shit, and then the crazy shit happens,
Because of her own negligence
Well, no,
by
well,
keeping that fucking statue in her house?
Well,
what the fuck?
I mean, that's a whatever, but at this point, it's like no. I'm not going to send the squad off to do what I designed them to. They need to come get my ass.
Yeah, I do like the part where that was probably the only part of the movie I enjoyed was when Waller kills her entire staff. And I mean, I enjoyed it. It was shot so poorly because it just kind of happens at this weird angle. There's no emotional impact, but she just kills it. I'm like, all right. And she's like, they weren't cleared to see this. And like the best part is Will Smith goes, okay, that was gangsta. Like I thought that was kind of funny. That was like the one moment where I was like, at least Waller really embraces being a bad guy. Everyone else is just kind of a pussy.
I mean, I like the character of Waller in general.
I did too.
In the comics, she's one of the few people who like can get aggressive enough and just kind of in his face. She makes Batman step back, like actually like stand down.
I'm sure.
What do you guys think of the casting of Viola Davis for her?
I mean, she's fine.
Yeah, it didn't bother me.
I mean, the character. I mean, you write the characters like this to be cool, like that whole Batman thing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna make this character cooler than Batman. Look at this, I'm gonna make Batman back down. Where it's like, anyone who else was writing Batman would just smack her in the fucking face.
Well, no, that's not like that. That goes back to the comics. That's not a movie thing.
No, I know it's a comics though. Just smack her in the face. It's really not that hard. Just smack her. And like I love how Deadshot would like take his helmet on and put it off, take it on, put it off, take it off, put it off, and like, but why? He doesn't do anything. He's like, I don't like putting this on because when I do, people get killed. Motherfucker, that's your job. Don't start getting fucking sentimental on me right now. Also, if you've got the crosshair shit on your eye, why are you using your other eye to shoot the gun? What is, there's so much problems with this. I don't like putting the helmet. He puts the helmet on, and it's like, oh, I'm going to shoot a bunch of stuff, then he just takes it right off. It doesn't even look like a helmet. It just looks like some sort of rubber shit you get from Party City. It doesn't do anything.
It's true.
This movie was so bad, it was beautiful. It really was. I had
fun. I had a good time. I did the occasional, I occasionally shot air very strongly out of my nose at a couple of scenes, and I don't know. I walked out expecting to hate the fact that I paid money to see it, and I didn't. I was glad that I went. So
I'm actually happier that I paid money to see Jason Bourne and saw this instead.
Oh wait, is Jason Bourne out?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I couldn't. I was
that.
trying to get tickets for it Friday, and the line was really long, and the automatic ticketing machine was not letting me buy Suicide Squad. So I just bought tickets for Jason Bourne that started 15 minutes later, and we just walked into the Suicide Squad theater.
Nice.
So I actually didn't give this movie any money. Jason Bourne got an extra $40.
Yikes. That's why I love matinees. And also my student ID, which does not have an expiration date on it, so.
Every time I see Matt Damon, I want to be the guy in the theater to go, my God, that's Jason Bourne. Every movie does that. I just want to do that.
Did you see the preview for The Wall? What previews were on your guys'?
Oh yeah, we posted about the Great Wall on the Facebook page, and my girlfriend's like, "What is this?" It's Matt Damon fighting Chinese dragons on the Great Wall of China.
I didn't know there were dragons involved. That looked cool.
I was like, "This is going to be so." Yeah, Andy Lau was in it. The dude who played the Red Viper.
I was just waiting. I'm like, man, if people were bitching about whitewashing before.
Well, no, this one is like a combine. I guess it's okay because like they combined it. It's like the Chinese are like, we're gonna get our dudes, and you get one of your famous dudes, one guy that used to be famous, and another dude who's just kind of famous for being a useless character in Game of Thrones who got his head popped off, and then we'll put them in a movie together, and we'll make millions. That's really what it is.
I hope they do make millions. That sounds like a solid business plan.
What are the trailers? Wonder Woman.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
Which look cool still. I don't care what you say, dude. I think that movie's going to be awesome.
Benedict Cumberbatch doing his best house voice. I don't know about chakras. Study and practice. That's how I did it.
So, dude thinks that it's Dr. House in Inception, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I didn't hear the house thing at all, but that's fine. You can
you
have your delusions.
Listen to it really carefully, especially in the teaser. It's not as bad as in some of the later trailers, but in the teaser, I don't believe in chakras or energy or chi or anything like that. And he really sounds like Dr. House. Bad. What else? I'm trying to remember. There's a couple of them that. Sausage Party, which I'm into seeing. That looks pretty cool. and The Edge of 17. We saw that. We saw the Green Band trailer for Edge of 17.
I saw the new James Franco comedy.
Oh, with Bryan Cranston?
Yeah.
That looked dumb.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
It's a Christmas movie. They're all stupid. We can't.
I hate Christmas movies.
They're
Christmas movies and
James
February
Franco,
14th
so-
ones. Yes,
Huh?
James
I
Franco.
said I
is
hate
such a
James
dick.
Franco, so that works out for me.
He's such a skis ball. Ugh. I hate Christmas movies and I hate Valentine's Day movies. Why do we have to have a Valentine's Day movie every year?
What
Stupid.
other movies?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah,
else.
nothing particularly memorable.
No, certainly not. I didn't even get the Wonder Woman trailer.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I still want to know who Wonder Woman is gonna fight. It's just the Germans. Like, what kind of villain is that? She's just gonna kill all of them.
So, as an interesting side note, I watched the extended version of Batman vs Superman last night with some coworkers, which actually it solved a lot of my issues with the plot. I still think Jesse Eisenberg is shit, but that's fine. But when they find the picture of Wonder Woman, like from World War I in there, that Chris Pine is in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, that's a little bit of nice planning there. We'll have to go back and fix that picture or something,
Oh, I think they've been filming this for a while.
No, I didn't realize though I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That is smart. They don't have to retcon it later.
Well, it provides a nice consistency for the series.
Well, I guess they'll take whatever they can.
I think it'll be good. I don't think it's gonna be a terrible movie. Plus, I mean, Gal Gadot is amazing. So.
Yeah, Gadot is beautiful. She looks like Wonder Woman. She's like, yeah, that's Wonder Woman. I was like, when I saw the first picture of her, I was like, yep, that's Wonder Woman right there.
Nice.
No ambiguity. All right. That's all I got. I'm done. I don't know how much more of this movie I can complain about.
I mean, the answer is probably a lot because you like the sound of your own voice. So.
Oh yeah, especially because I turn my headset off so I don't hear it. It's just me talking.
I mean,
That
I could tell you
explains
guys
a
about all
lot.
the little details that I caught that you don't ever
No.
like about. For instance, the Pentagon
Ah,
model is so shitty. It's true though.
I love it how Tracy can catch like little details, but entire plots just go right by her. She's like, I didn't know that was Beast's plane, but Jennifer Lawrence's hair extensions. Did you see them? They were like off-white on one, and then they were kind of yellowish. But that wasn't his plane. What are you talking? What they were? Oh, there was only one plane. No, there were two planes.
It's true. I am much better at reading things, which is why our comic conversations always go so much more smoothly.
What?
Yeah, like define smoothly.
Well, there's less of this for sure. Come on.
You mean the dead air, the staring?
The
But
confused looks, the scratching of the heads,
Yeah, this movie is so bad. It's gonna have a terrible drop off next weekend.
Yeah, I'll be
What
curious
comes
to
out
see.
next weekend, actually?
Actually, let me just look that up right now. I had it a second ago, and I
2
lost it.
hours of a flaming dog turd. Like that. That's what comes out next week. It's just. You know
And
what?
it's still gonna beat it out.
People buy those like Yule log DVDs. It's just a like video of a fire. That's what this is. Except burning
It's gonna
poop.
be August 12th. There's gonna be Sausage Party, Peach Dragons, Florence Foster Jenkins, Hell or High Water, and Bloodfather. Just those probably. So really, the only big one that's gonna come out is probably Peach Dragon.
Yeah.
And Sasha's Party is going to be a kind of one of those R-rated raunch animated comedies. That'll probably Florence Foster Jenkins. That's another Meryl Streep movie that no one cares about. Hell or High Water is coming from the guy who gave us Sicario. I like Sicario, so that might be worth something watching. Bloodfather is probably a movie no one's going to watch because Mel Gibson's in it.
You know a trailer I've gotten the last couple times is Magnificent Seven.
Oh, okay.
Really? I
Yeah.
haven't gotten that yet.
I've gotten that twice
Okay.
now.
Hey,
And
there's
then-
a Final Fantasy movie coming out. I didn't know that. Kingsglaive.
And then Arthropoid? That's coming out. I actually want to see that, about killing the one of the Nazi high commands in Prague or Budapest, I think it was.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go see War Dogs, obviously. Pacu's and Diveroli I'll send you guys actually, I'll throw this in the show notes too. There's a fantastic Rolling Stones article that is so hilarious because you read it and you're like, no.
Nothing beats the Rolling Stone review of Fantastic Four.
Oh, I'll have to go back and look at that.
Oh my god. I'll send it to you guys. We'll put it in the show notes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, War Dogs looks okay. Ben-Hur looks ridiculous. It's one of those like, why are we making...
I know. We saw the poster on the way out, and Kurt pointed to it, and we're like, we're gonna go see that. I was like, no, we're not. No, we're not. I'm not spending money on that shit. I have the 40th anniversary of the
1959, I believe.
Yeah, 9-1. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love that thing. Anyways, what have you guys? Are we doing the into?
Sure.
What have you guys been up into?
I saw Big Friendly Giant this week at the base, and that was pretty uneventful. That was pretty stupid. It was like a kids movie didn't. Yeah, but it didn't have any of the magic of a kid. It was also a Spielberg movie. It didn't have any of the magic or darkness like a Spielberg level kids movie you would expect to have. It looked good. The giant looked good, but it got so ridiculous towards the end. It was just it felt like a whole lot of nothing. It felt like a really big waste. I also saw Central Intelligence with The Rock and Chris Hart. That was actually pretty funny.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. It was really funny. I was surprised how funny. I think The Rock is great. I think The Rock is actually a really good comedic actor. He's actually probably better at doing comedy than he is action films.
I think he's also getting better.
He's always wanted to do comedies. There was that stretch when he had his daughter, and he almost fell into the Eddie Murphy trap of I just want to do family comedies now. And I know he's said as much in interviews, but he's gotten away from that, and he's given himself a nice blend of action film and comedies, and he's been serviceable in pretty much all of them.
Surprisingly, I actually really enjoyed the first season of Ballers.
I want to see that now.
It's actually quite good.
Yeah, and then there is I saw The Shallows, the Blake Lively shark movie, and that one was okay. It was short, which was good, but one of these days,
all the tension was in the trailer.
I mean, no, the film had some nice suspenseful moments, but there are times where I don't believe in the philosophy of you can scare the audience more by not showing them and letting their imagination run wild. I've always found that to be bunk. So there's a particular scene in the movie where someone's getting chewed up by a shark, and it's just Blake Lively's reactions to it, and it's like, this is stupid. I'm just watching her face. This is dumb. And again, one of these days I want to see a movie where the shark wins. I'm just root for the shark. I want the shark to win.
You know, I would say I don't fully agree with you. I think in certain instances, like the one you just described, it's bunk. I think there are certain ones like Alien, where the monster's hunting you. I think that works, but I think.
Well, you get small portions of the monster in that, though. I mean, just enough to.
No, see, I don't know if this one applies because are you referring to the scene with Dallas in the the tubes?
Yeah.
That to me was just a jump scare. I don't think that's what that was supposed to be doing.
No, it was the tension that it was supposed to be.
Right. I think these are two very separate things. I think it's like the Psycho or Blair Witch, like you don't see the act happening, but you hear it and your brain fills in, or you've got a build that like a Hitchcock moment where you're building to something, but the payoff is very quick. So I think I would separate those two as two very different categories of build to a moment with a quick payoff that you don't see much happening like Aliens, or something where you don't actually see the violence occur during the actual event, like Psycho or Blair Witch, or in this case Her on the rock looking at this dude getting chewed up by a shark. I think the former I can go. I think I'm okay with a jump scare, but it's like the dude's getting ripped up by a shark. I want to fucking see that.
Right.
I want to see. There was one cool scene where the shark breaches and he takes a surfer with him. That was kind of cool. But other than that, it was just okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I went to a coworker's house and watched the Batman vs Superman extended edition, or Ultimate Edition, I think is what it's called. And it was 3 hours. It was 3 hours long. But I think it solved a lot of my plot issues with that movie. So that was. I was like, I'm sitting there going like, yeah, I understand it's 3 hours. They probably should have released it this way. I think it
Yeah.
would have done better.
With an intermission. I miss intermissions.
So, what's it? Hateful Eight had an intermission.
Yep, that's true. So I started reading Scott Pilgrim, like the actual the color editions that I picked up,
Nice.
and those have been fun. Especially in the beginning, it's not really shot for shot, but certainly the dialogue is almost line for line. And I forgot how much I really appreciated Kieran Culkin's character, because that's he plays the character very well, especially for what the comic based on the comic. Like he's spot on, and he admits to not having read the material until he accepted the part.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yeah, this is how I think it should be played." And then he read, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm right."
Yeah, I like that when actors like kind of change the character a little bit. They bring in a good interpretation to it.
Yeah, let's see what else. That's mostly it. I've kind of been just doing some stuff around the house and found a way to mount my lightsabers.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's not like great, but they make the little like 3M hooks. They make the all kinds of different stuff for the command adhesive strips. Well, they've got ones that are meant to like hold up like brooms and stuff. So I got one of those, and it holds up the lightsaber. So I'm pleased with that. Yeah, that's about it. Tracy?
So I finally got to watch Ex Machina, not based on the comic book. It's just a movie that was released. I think it was the beginning of this year or the end of last year.
No, it was almost a year ago. I think it was. Yeah, it was like April 2015.
Oh wow. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I think that it vomited all over itself right at the end in like the last 5 minutes, but other than that,
yeah,
it was pretty good.
What do you mean? Like I thought it was cool. I liked it.
It was the ending. Okay, so I figured out about halfway through what the ending was going to be, but
Sure.
it was very anticlimactic. I think that they could have done a little bit of a better job with just the last little bit. I was just like, wait, that's all they're going to show?
Is the end him fucking a robot?
No,
that actually never happens, although he really
now I'm
wants
disappointed.
to.
Now I don't want to watch the movie. It's disappointing.
No, it's pretty cool. It's like Ava starts fighting back and like starts stabbing Oscar Isaac, and then Captain Ginger is like trapped in the like the panic room or something like the office.
She tells him to stay. She's like, stay here, and then
Stay here,
just leaves.
And then she just leaves him in there. I thought that was great. And then she just walks out into the wilderness. I was like, that's awesome. That's the way I want a movie to end. Like, suck it.
Well, she didn't walk into the wilderness. She went and got on his helicopter and went back to the city.
Oh, yeah. That's right. The helicopter came down to pick her up. The guy didn't even ask her. It was like, hey, I never dropped you off.
What? I mean, it's a beautiful movie, and clearly the casting director for The Force Awakens was watching, because two of those main characters ended up in The Force Awakens. But anyway,
that Ginger had a really good year that year, because I think he's I think he's in Mad Max, he's in Brooklyn, and he's in The Revenant, and he's also in Force Awakens. So like 2015.
Wow, I didn't know he was in The Revenant.
I think he's also in Mad Max, but I'm not sure. But yeah, he had a really good year.
Yeah. And then I also watched the first few episodes, I think 4 or 5 episodes of Alpha House, which Andrew told me a while, because I
I've been
finally
telling
got
you
my
repeatedly about that.
You have, and yeah, and it is really good. And Bill Murray does a fantastic cameo in the first episode, and it's got John Goodman. It's a good show, and it's the boring side of House of Cards. And then I've been reading. I've actually been going back and catching up on, don't hate me, Andrew, Marvel events. Going back and reading a couple of.
I don't hate you. I pity you.
Okay. And then I've also picked up Hellblazer, because I wanted to read Constantine's story, because I watched the movie and I was underwhelmed, but I wanted to read the actual story.
I liked that movie. I picked up Hellblazer 1, and it couldn't hold me. I'm gonna give it another try. Yeah, I've been trying to finish 100 Bullets and the Max, but I haven't had time to kind of really sit and bang them out. But I do have. You probably have the same Hellblazer that I have, and I'd be curious to see what we think of it. Maybe I'll if you're reading it, I can sit down and power through it.
That would be fun.
I don't know about the first like trade worth. I think you'd appreciate Hellblazer just because it becomes one of those characters where even when he wins, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like a little more your kind of story, where people don't necessarily, there's not always the happy ending.
Yeah, I want to give it another try. I'm trying to branch out. That's why I got the Max, because it's like I would never read something with some like costume heroes or a savage dragon, but I'm giving it a try.
Yeah. And then last but not least, I've been reading The Art of Betrayal: Secret History of MI6, which Andrew lent me like 2 years ago. But it's actually really good, so I'm glad that I'm getting into that, and that's been really fun. And that's throwing me back into reading spy novels like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which I never got all the way through. I didn't love the movie, so I'll maybe give that another try.
We should probably try again with the Bond stuff, because I read Casino Royale, and
Is Rich alive?
He's alive. I don't think we're gonna hear from him anytime soon. So maybe we should just do the Bond thing on our own.
Oh God, you guys know that I am going to loathe Ian Fleming, right? You do know that.
Oh no, I know you are. That's part of the reason why I do it. I don't. Wait, no, I don't.
Oh no, you don't loathe Ian Fleming. You just loathe the Bond films.
I don't like the films. The book. I mean, I read Casino Royale. I thought that was pretty interesting. I actually was getting more into the books because they're way more nastier than the movies. The movies are just kind of softball, but the books, I've talked
straight
about this
up
before.
Racist, sexist. What a pig.
Name calling,
awesome.
name calling. Meow, 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 meow. My feeties are hurt.
I wasn't calling you. I'm talking about Ian Fleming.
Mean people say
Although, I
things
mean, if the shoe
things
fits.
about things. Oh my God, I don't like these things anymore. They say nasty stuff. I don't like these kids because he's gonna talk about girls and it's not gonna like. I'm not gonna like. And he punched that man in the face.
Do you have any idea how much editing you're making me do right now? Any idea?
Oh. I just love that one thing where Fleming. I've talked about this before. Where Fleming's smoking the cigarette and they're interviewing him about the sex and violence in the Bond novels. And they're like, there's a lot of sex and violence in these Bond novels. He's like, yes, I figured I would write stuff that any red-blooded heterosexual person would enjoy. It's like, well, these aren't really appropriate for schoolboys. Well, no, they're not really meant for schoolboys. They're meant, I don't think schoolboys should be reading them. It's like, well, teenagers are reading them. It's like, yes, and I imagine they're enjoying them very much.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude is gangsta. He immediately became my hero. When I liked him so much more when I saw that interview. I was like, oh, I'll defend this guy to the death. I don't care. Oh, yeah. What did I finally get around to playing? I had a big board game night last night. Oh, I fucked Baruch up so bad on everything. He had a rough night. Yeah, we played. You ever hear of the war game Ogre? It was like Steve Jackson's, the guy of Munchkin fame. One of his first games was Ogre, and they came out with like a card game based on Ogre, and it's really nice. It's like $15. It's 2-player. It can be played very quickly. It's almost a 10-15 minute runtime. Very simple. 1 page of rules, double-sided. I really liked it. We got through like 7 games. I beat his ass 6 out of 7 times. It was really something. And we finally wrapped up the Austrian campaign in Command and Colors Napoleonics. That was really cool. We're going to work on the we're doing all the battles of the Napoleonic Wars in chronological order.
Nice.
So we finished with the Austrians. We're moving into Prussia, and that'll be cool. And I finally got to play Pandemic.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this.
I really want to play that.
Now, it's not my kind of
game on. Is it like the mobile game at all?
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I never played the mobile game. This is the first time I ever played it. I've just heard about it, and it's a multiplayer, like 2 to 6 players or 2 to 8 players, I think, and it is a co-op game, so you're playing against a deck of cards, really. And the whole world got sick and we died. But we cured like 2 out of the 5 diseases. But what's interesting, and I think this is a valid review, and it's the reason why I don't play co-op games, it brings out the alpha gamer in certain people. And if you don't know what I mean by that, it's the guy who's like, no, don't go there. Do it like this, and then I'll do this, and then Shelly's gonna go over here, and then we'll link up, then we'll share knowledge, and then we'll cure this disease, and then no, don't do that. Like that. That's what it brings out in people. And I mean, Baruch and I are a pair of betas, so we just died together, like cooperating. We're like, what do you want to do? I don't know. You want to try this? That's cool. Let's go to Hong Kong. Oh, they had an outbreak over there. We're gonna die, and we did. It was pretty bad. And then he showed me a game. He's designing a game, and I was helping him play test it, and I beat his ass in 2 turns. It was like, he's like, well, I know this part's broken. I was
like, this sounds like a Warhammer 40K movement rule change.
Oh,
coming up, that level of
yes,
beatdown.
It was like Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, you get to move and attack multiple times. So it's like, well, I'm going to do this again. Roll. All right, both your dudes are dead. Game's over. He's like, damn! That's exactly what happened. He's like, you just broke my game. I don't want to play it right now.
Nice.
Oh, and I picked up Colony Wars, Star Realms Colony Wars.
Nice.
I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, but have you looked through those cards?
I have. It's
There's some
interesting.
There's some evil shit in there.
The cards are a little flimsier than the original stock. A little flimsier, a little lighter. But other than that, I'm looking forward to trying that out.
All right, folks, if you like what we do, make sure you head on over to thereforegeek.com. You can try that again. All right, folks, if you like what we do, make sure you head on over to thereforegeek.com. Check out our blog posts and our podcasts. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. And you can find this podcast and other podcasts like it on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Suck it, dude. Motherfucker's been making faces at me the whole goddamn time.
That was for our...
Honestly, we
Our
should string
listeners.
together all the times you screwed that up, if you saved them, and just have them on a montage.
The
All
files are
times-
there somewhere, but oh my god, that would take forever.
I should
Because
have
there's a
sent you...
lot of them.
I should have sent you the fuck-ups I did on the Killing Joke review when, like, car alarms are going off, and it's like... So it's like, Tara Strong returns, this time as Barbara... Motherfucker! Hey, I'm up to the window. Are you serious? I am a professional recording right now!
Nice.
Cool.
So once again, I'm Andrew.
I'm Tracy.
And I am a professional recording podcaster!
And you've been listening to Therefore I Geek.